Every year, a handful of games capture the attention of the entire gaming community. These are juggernauts, large franchises, and flagship titles. Games that just about every gamer, whether you like it or not, will know about. This series is not about those games. It is about the titles that, regardless of their merit, seem to slide under the media radar. They can be old games, really new games, or games that aren't even fully released yet. But the hype is often so small that if you don't have your ear to the ground, you could miss out on them completely. Welcome to 4FS Gaming, and this is Under the Radar, and today we are going to look at Phoenix Point. This game is new, so new that it isn't even out yet. In fact, it's not even in early access. The only way that you can get your hands on it is through a very early tech test only available to those who support the crowdfunding campaign that made this game possible. So at this point, you are essentially just paying to be a game tester, playing what amounts to one randomly generated mission over and over, and hopefully providing feedback to the developers. This may seem like a pretty raw deal, but it will allow you to access the full game when it is released all the way off in June of 2019. With that in mind, just remember that what you are watching in the background is a very early in development build. I have not even been able to optimize it yet, hence the frame drops. So what is Phoenix Point? Well, the guy heading it up is Julian Gollop, the brains behind XCOM. No, not those XCOM games, they were made by Firaxis, but I'm talking about the originals, the classics that revolutionized an entire genre. Despite this, at first glance, Phoenix Point is incredibly similar to the Firaxis XCOM games that most people are familiar with. You lead a squad on tactical turn-based missions against aliens, or in this case, giant crabmen, and use their skills to complete the objective, with the constant threat of permadeath for your brave soldiers. Then you manage your resources, recruit troops and teams, equip them, research new technology and weapons, and select missions from a secret base. Now, XCOM Enemy Unknown and XCOM 2 were very good games, and in the case of Phoenix Point, Gollop is not trying to reinvent the wheel. The core of the game, including the controls, is extremely similar to XCOM. Although the more you mess around, there are a few key differences that you notice, and these amount to a massive overall improvement in an already excellent system. For example, you can now target different body parts, which has different effects based on how much damage they take and if they're disabled. The bullets are also all rendered as individual projectiles, so they naturally interact with intervening objects, they have scatter patterns, and this makes shooting feel a lot more organic, and it means you have to manually consider cover and range, rather than just look at whatever percentage number the game cranks out to represent your chance to hit. Ammo and resources are also scarce. If you shoot too liberally, you will soon find yourself scavenging for more weapons or ammo, all whilst being pursued by ruthless monstrosities from the ocean. So I would disagree with anyone that claims Phoenix Point is an XCOM ripoff, but rather it is the next step up, learning from what Firaxis' games did well and building upon it. Of course, because I have only played the backer build, I still have no idea what the overarching story campaign, trooper customization, mission variety, and large-scale tactical base will be like, but if the core strategy is anything to go off, it will be a refined and improved variant of what we are familiar with in the Enemy Unknown and XCOM 2 of Firaxis. Another interesting facet that the developers speak about is how the enemies in this game will mutate in response to your tactics. So the game sort of learns and then counters the way you play, making it far more realistic in terms of being unable to spam the same tactic for an entire campaign. If this is pulled off well, it could be a game changer. I would love to see more of this in other games as well, however in the backer build it's not really evident because each mission is random and standalone. Also, we don't really want the code of Phoenix Point becoming self-aware, because the in-game universe is dark enough as it is. You can tell that Gollop and his development team are really making this game out of passion. This can be seen from the crowdfunding campaign to complete it instead of going to an enormous publisher, and also from the lore that they have already written into the world. If you are interested in lore, you won't find too much of it in the backer build itself, but go and check out Phoenix Point's website. It has heaps of articles and also short stories and narratives in the world where the game takes place, and much of it is very fascinating. Now, it's this kind of attention and care that keeps me confident that Phoenix Point is destined for great things. Now, I don't really want to sound like I'm advertising anything too much, but the backer build is still available for purchase if you want to give it a try, although prices are going to increase soon, likely because there's a whole lot of new features that are going to be added in. Although a quick disclaimer, unless you are the kind of person that lives to identify bugs and recommends improvements, you will only get a few hours of entertainment out of this current build, as it is extremely limited, and as with all early access purchases, you always run the risk of the game remaining forever incomplete, or just never becoming as good as promised. The backer build is currently only for PC, however the future release on console for the full game is something that developers would, and I quote, love to do. That however does not mean that it is confirmed. I can see great promise in this game, and it will be interesting to see if it remains under the radar, or if it grows in popularity closer to release. If you want to chat about any of the games mentioned in this series, or just hang out with the 4FS community, please join our Discord server, and come find us streaming over on Twitch. Both of those are linked in the description below. If you have another game in mind that is worthy of attention and is also flying under the radar, please leave a comment to let me know. Thank you so much for watching, please subscribe and drop a like or a dislike on your way out. This is Ascendance from 4FS Gaming.